knocking out Errol Spence, they go on his page, they start looking up his fights, and bam, you got a new boxing fan.
Yeah, but someone might think, oh, well, Jake Paul's more entertaining than Errol Spence because the way Jake Paul gets knockouts and all this.
What's up, y'all? This is your boy Michael, back at it again with the 6th episode on the Pound for Pound Boxing channel. And today we're going to be getting into a quick segment about Jorge Gamebred Masvidal taking on Nate Diaz this weekend on July 6th. I'll be handing this over to my co-host, and let's get straight into it.
Welcome back to the Pound for Pound Box channel. My name's Eric.
And I'm Alex.
Jorge Masvidal will be taking on Nate Diaz this weekend, July 6th. Man, in the Honda Center, LA. We know these guys already fought in the UFC, where Jorge Masvidal did dominate the fight. I think this is just a fun fight. I know it's not to be taken too serious. It's not, for us diehard boxing fans, but it is just a fun fight.
It's a gimmick fight. It's just another influencer fight.
I wouldn't say that, though, man. I mean, these guys are also both fighters. We got to give that respect.
Yeah.
I know they're UFC fighters, but they're still fighters.
Yeah, man, but you can't, the way how UFC strikes, the way they strike is not, it can't translate the same way as boxing. There's two very different.
I agree with that. Let's just state this right now while it's on the table. Any UFC fighter that comes into boxing will lose in boxing. Any boxer that steps into MMA, they'll lose as well.
And, what do you think, what comes out of this fight?
I think what comes out of this fight is just the fact that they're going to get their money's worth. I mean, they're going to get the money's worth because people are going to tune in. And for those that love MMA or they're familiar with both fighters, they're fan favorite fighters, they're going to watch. They're going to tune in, even if it's not because of the love for boxing. It's just two guys. It's like a celebrity match. You know what I mean?
And do you think possibly whoever wins this fights Jake Paul?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, Nate Diaz already lost to Jake Paul.
Technically, it's an influencer fight.
Let's be real, guys. Jake Paul would beat these guys. Even though I don't like Jake Paul, I'm not a fan of Jake Paul. You got to, give respect where respect's due. Jake Paul does seem to beat up a lot of these older UFC fighters. I'd like to see Jake Paul versus Alex Pereira. I don't know how that fight would end, but, to get hop back into this Nate Diaz-Jorge Masvidal fight, I think it'll be a fun fight. I think we won't see nothing too different from their fight in the UFC. I think Masvidal clearly has the better stand-up game. Nate Diaz is usually more known for his jiu-jitsu and his grappling and whatnot. But I think it's a fun fight. We also seen all the controversy that's been behind this fight. Nate Diaz's team beating up on Jorge Masvidal's coach, which I thought was kind of messed up but kind of funny.
Kind of funny, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I found it funny as well when Masvidal came in and yanked the dude's hair and then all the mess unfolded. I mean, a lot of people think that was a girl thing to do, but when it's an unfair fight and people are getting jumped, there's no such thing as rules.
They're selling the fight, bro. They're selling
that fight is going to be sold for sure, and we'll see which one does better between that fight and the Shakur fight card. So we'll see where boxing is right now.
Fine.
Apart from that, on the undercard, we got some fairly good fights. We also got Amado Vargas fighting Sean Garcia, which I think will be an interesting fight. I mean, those guys aren't known to be the best boxers or but they do have names. So
no, but let me ask you, would these guys be considered prospects in a way?
No, I think they're where they're at because they're relatives, and that's with all due respect. I think they're good fighters. I just don't think they're considered contenders. I mean, prospects possibly. I just don't think that they're there because of their skills. I think they're there because of their names. I know they were good in the amateurs, at least Sean Garcia was, but I mean, in the Vargas family, I think the only guy that's really getting the real recognition and the props is Emiliano Vargas, which is the youngest Vargas brother. And Sean Garcia is kind of looking overshadowed because of Ryan Garcia, of course. I mean, that's obvious, But it's still going to be a fun fight. I mean, I know they've been trash talking a lot. We saw the press conference today, and this all over the place. They're calling Sean Garcia saying, fuck the Vargas dynasty, and the Vargas brothers are talking crap back. So we're in for a fun fight. I think it's, like you said, it's just going to be a fun night of boxing that day. And apart from that, we also got the return of Daniel Jacobs taking on Shane Mosley Jr. What do you have to say about that?
I got Shane Mosley Jr. winning that fight. I feel like since he's a lot more younger and Danny Jacobs is arguably over the hill at this point, going through wars with Triple G, Canelo, I just feel like Danny Jacobs is just going to be, Sugar Shane Mosley Jr. is going to be a little bit more fresher than he is.
Yeah, but, for all those fans that are of Danny Jacobs, the older boxing fans, I think we're all rooting for Danny Jacobs. Just like you said, he did take on some good names. We hope to see the Magic Man back in action. This guy is a warrior. He has taken on good names. But I could agree with you there. To be honest, I think this is going to be a boring fight. I think the styles just don't make that good of a fight. We know Shane Mosley Jr. likes to box, and Danny Jacobs hasn't fought in over a couple years, so we know that fight's not going to be too active. But let's hope I'm wrong. Let's hope we see a good fight. Let's hope we see a technical fight.
Some fireworks going on.
Yeah, I mean, 4th of July weekend, so you hope some damn fireworks are going to go off, you know. And apart from that, we got a couple more UFC fighters on that card. My final predictions on this is I got Jorge Masvidal taking it by decision. I got Sean Garcia winning slight split decision. I know he has 2 victories over Amado Vargas. So I'll say Sean Garcia is going to win by split decision. And I want to say Shane Mosley Jr. by unanimous decision.
Sounds about right. I feel like I agree with all those points that you just said.
So let us know what you guys think down below, though. I think this fight's going to be a good fight. Oh, and one last question. What do you think about the influencer boxing?
Well, man, I feel like for sure they're playing a good role in boxing, but they kind of disgrace the name of it in a way.
I think it's a pro and a con, though.
Yeah.
I think it brings in a lot of more viewers, to boxing, because boxing is growing. If you haven't noticed, everybody's saying it's a dying sport. I think it's BS.
But everyone sees those fights and they think, oh, wow, those guys are good. I want to see this and that.
But that's fine because, look, this is how I think about it. Let's say they're Jake Paul fans. They come in, they watch Jake Paul get knockouts. They say, oh, my God, this guy is a great knockout artist, whatever. Then they might see a highlight reel pop up on their feed of Crawford, knocking out Errol Spence. They go on his page, they start looking up his fights, and bam, you got a new boxing fan.
Yeah, but someone might think, oh, well, Jake Paul is more entertaining than Errol Spence because the way Jake Paul gets knockouts and all this and that.
I'll tell you why it's a good thing, though. If you notice in the last 3 to 4 years, I'll even say 5 years, boxing has gone from here to here because of the influencer boxing, believe it or not. They bring more eyes.
Now, do you think influencer boxing is what actually got here and boxing just stayed down here?
I think it's a mixture of Jake Paul and the influencer boxing and Turkey Al-Rashid. That's what I think it is. I think either way, look, boxing's in a good place. So that's all we could agree on. I think it's questionable to say that nobody likes the influencer boxers because they're not real boxers. I understand that. But they do bring more money. And in order for the fights to happen, there needs to be more money in the market.
Yeah, but
it's a business at the end of the day.
Yeah, well.
But, I mean, anybody could say what they want about it. Let us know in the comments below. Thank you guys for tuning in. My name's Eric.
And I'm Alex.
And I'm your boy, Michael. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Pound for Pound Boxing channel. Please like, share, and subscribe, and let us know your thoughts down below. And we're out.